Hello, my name is Diego Garcia Cano, and today I will try to be explaining more about corruption. Before I really go into detail what corruption is or how it affects us, I want to go through a little example. Um, this example is very known as the Gürtel case. In Spain, the Gürtel case has grown into one of the biggest corruption scandals in Spain's democratic history. At the center of it, the scandal funneled illicit donations and bribes to the then ruling party in exchange for rigged government contracts. Within a few months, a worker named Peñas, who at the time was working very close to Francisco Correa, he uh, he found out that his friend Francisco Correa was behind the whole Gürtel case. Uh, and he also realized that Correa's real businesses was conspiring with local politicians to rig lucrative public contracts. The investigation started in November 2007 by the Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office and was officially denounced by the same prosecutor's office in February 2009 before the National High Court. With that said, we can probably start to guess why corruption is dangerous for the economy and politics, but most importantly, it has such a big effect on the public, so much that when corruption gets too big, a cycle of distrust towards the government, which makes it easier for them to participate in it. And we perceive corruption everywhere, from transit offices all the way to Congress. There are several theories on corruption, like game theory, which according to Investopedia, the key to game theory is the one player's payoff is contingent on the strategy implemented by other player. Pretty much it's how we react to kind of like our surroundings. It's like it puts us on a spot like, oh, I have so many berries that I can take, and shows you which ones we would mostly take. But corruption has a very high price, and according to the Transparent International, the cost of corruption is a very high one. But the four most prevalent are freedom and rule of law, your participation and trust in your government, your chance for a healthy environment and sustainable future, and your opportunity to build and grow wealth. That goes to show that anti-corruption, the organization, makes our democracy stronger by giving true and fair leaders and making our votes count. They achieve this by looking into public and private sectors where they might suspect corruption is happening. And without the help of this organization, it will be much easier for corruption to take over. This is the reason of why we should combat corruption and address it as soon as possible. Is and even with all this, it still very much is for social responsibility to resist corruption. That goes from participating in it directly, like bribing a police officer or a transit officer, uh, to when we spot corruption. It's also responsibility to raise our voice and make it known. We cannot allow corruption to settle in, because the only way we could advance as a country where a democracy could really work and have the chances to do better for ourselves, if the corruption is as low as it can possibly get. Otherwise, that's the only way to get an actual fair chance at this. Thank you very much. My name is Diego Garcia. It was a pleasure. Have a good one.